Well, first of all, could you identify yourself properly for me, please?
I'm busy doing my best of this.
And your collar number?
2431.
Thank you very much.
And you? Can you identify yourself?
I don't need to, madam. I don't need to identify myself.
I know that. I just asked you, what are you doing?
Yep.
Huh? Yeah.
Oh, that was nice of him to stop to see if you're alright.
Sorry?
I said that was nice of him to stop to see if you're alright.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm all good.
Okay. But is there any particular reason why you're filming? If I may ask. I mean, you don't have to reply to my questions.
No, by all means,
But
by all means.
having...
The main reason why I'm actually down here, because I don't know if you're aware, but when you actually look at the Metropolitan Police, okay, Stoke Newington actually has one of the highest rates of prisoners either being hurt or potentially ending up in hospital and potentially a fatality happening.
Right, so that's the
board.
reason why you're here?
Yes.
Okay.
So, have you got any comment on that?
No.
No comment on that. Okay, no worries. Okay, so you can see there clearly, guys, very, very quick to shut down. That as soon as you sort of mentioned to do with any form of something actually happening, that you can see clearly that the doors completely come up and they shut everything down. And this is what happens. So you can see they're having a little natter on the corner, and yeah. So, and this is what members of the public are dealing with.
Alright guys, buckle up, because what you're about to see starts as a simple interaction but quickly turns into a tense showdown over authority, rights, and accountability. The camera is already rolling outside a police facility when an officer approaches and begins questioning the man filming. At first glance it seems routine, just another curious officer asking why someone is recording. But watch closely, because the dynamic changes fast. The civilian remains calm and measured, politely asking the officer to identify herself before answering questions. That single moment sets the tone. Instead of confrontation, he responds with composure and confidence, reminding viewers that knowledge of your rights can completely change the power dynamic in situations like this. As the conversation continues, the auditor explains that his presence isn't random. He's documenting activity because this location has a troubling record involving prisoners being injured or hospitalized while in custody.
Looks like you're already on Facebook, really.
But is the building secure, yes or no?
Good night.
Okay, so you can see there, guys, that's the question that she couldn't answer, purely because she knows that the building is secure and they have no right to actually stop me or to try and interfere with what I'm doing. But you can see that they've clearly got it marked out that that is what they want to do. And that's the crazy thing to do with it, that they're more than happy to sort of make things up as they go along, and this is what we have to watch out for. So you can see clearly that you actually had it where we go, yeah, okay, this is what's going on, and you try and actually talk and have a conversation. They say about conversation, well, I started a conversation is because it's being covered up and they're not interested in what the public do, and they just want to do what they're out there to do and nothing more. And this is what is so hard when you look across the board at what is going on, that they can act in the manner, they can do things in the manner, and it's just wrong. It's so wrong in so many ways, that that's the way that they operate. And this is what as members of the public, this is what we're trying to cut out and trying to come away from, is we need to make sure that people understand that the public are keeping an eye, the public are watching, the public are doing stuff, and we're not afraid to challenge what's happened. And if we don't challenge it, then they just do whatever they want and they get away with whatever they want. And this is what we have to stop, and this is what we have to really go for. So yeah, so let's just see what happens and how things go. Evening. So you can see there, that was the sergeant that came out, and he just left me completely alone to do what I need to do, which is good. And it's exactly what he should be doing, but also when you just got a PC and they're talking about to do with the security and so on and so on.
Now here's where things get interesting. The moment the civilian calmly raises concerns about statistics involving custody injuries and fatalities, the officer immediately shuts down the conversation. No explanation, no engagement, just a quick verbal wall. And that reaction tells us a lot. Instead of addressing the concern, the officer withdraws from the discussion entirely. This is something we often see in public accountability encounters. When uncomfortable questions arise, the easiest response is silence. But transparency is supposed to be a cornerstone of modern policing. When the public asks reasonable questions, especially about safety and oversight, the expectation is dialogue, not avoidance. Yet the tension here begins building because that dialogue never happens. The auditor continues filming, quietly observing as officers gather and talk among themselves. And while nothing explosive has happened yet, the atmosphere changes. The silence and defensiveness create an uneasy standoff that's slowly building towards something much bigger.
When you've got the police and they're like this, and you're trying to actually, they say about, yeah, let's talk. Okay, fine. I'm asking a question. Do we ever get an answer? No, we don't. Why do we not? Because they don't see us as anything. All what we are to the majority of them is just a stat. Nothing more than a stat. And you can see, so you got all those vehicles there again. Vehicle parked on the pavement, okay, blocking the actual route. There were loads of vehicles out on the main road as well. So there's nothing sort of marked along there as police, and I think that might be a part of, they've been a fair size and they are all quite big, but the responses across the board have been so different, and I mean so different. And you can just see it's like been told, yep, could be challenged, got told to do with a threat, and then sort of wandered off, and then you've then got the other one where she was like, yep, can I help you, and then you sort of talked, and it was fair enough, okay, that you actually had one of her colleagues that was just coming off duty that sort of said, yep, are you alright? She said yeah, and then boom, and then it then went from there, and that's the wonderful thing. So right. I'm good.
Anything interesting going on?
Sorry.
That's it. So fun game for YouTube, is it?
And you got a van coming in as well.
You right, mate? You right, mate?
I'm good, thank you.
Did you just not?
Alright, pay attention here because the conversation shifts toward security and responsibility. One officer hints that filming near the building might somehow be problematic. But the auditor pushes back with a simple question: is the building secure, yes or no? It's a direct challenge that forces the issue into the open. If the facility is secure, there's no legitimate reason to interfere with someone filming from a public space. That's when the officer avoids answering entirely and walks away. And that moment is critical. Because what it reveals is that the officers know the civilian isn't breaking the law. Instead of confronting that reality directly, they simply disengage. Meanwhile, the cameraman continues documenting everything: vehicles entering, officers coming and going, and the general environment outside the station. From a legal standpoint, filming in public is protected activity in many democratic societies. But even when the law is clear, that doesn't always stop tension from escalating.
Tell me to do something, sir.
Mate, you don't need to record the code.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm stopping.
What are you doing?
Stopping.
Give me my phone.
Stopping her data.
Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Okay, first of all, I want your number, okay? What is it? 3483. Okay? Honestly, you're an absolute fuck. No, don't touch me. Do not touch me. Do not touch me. Okay? You're an absolute fuck. Who are you to grab my phone like that? Okay? You're an absolute tick turd, you are. Okay? No, you're an absolute tick turd. Okay? Who do you think you are that you can do that to people? Okay? Yeah? Look, you're an absolute tick turd, see? You won't come back out, will ya? Okay? Who do you think you are that you can do that? Okay? You're an actual police constable, okay? You're an absolute arrogant tosser. Okay?
The officer's immediate demand to stop filming appears to be procedurally incorrect. A basic rule is, police cannot order someone to stop filming lawfully. His concern is the gate's keypad code, but the responsibility for protecting sensitive information generally lies with the person entering it, not a bystander on a public pavement. Watch how quickly this verbal command escalates into physical action.
You can't walk up to someone and do that to them. Okay, what an absolute tick turd. Right guys, you can see there, okay, he came straight up to me, okay, absolutely just grabbed the phone, smashed it out of my hand, right, and the screen is actually broke on the corner from the actual fault, and yeah, absolutely so wrong, and it shouldn't be allowed. So that's one that I will definitely be putting in, and you'll actually see from the actual footage that there was no getting any actual code or anything on there. He made a presumption, nothing more, okay, and that's what it is. So yeah, so let's just see what happens. But yeah, so PC tick turd, okay, you better be ready, okay, for the complaint that's going to go in. Okay, you're an absolute, you are a disgrace to that uniform. An absolute disgrace. You're meant to be there to serve and protect the public, and you act like that. You're an animal. Okay, you are an absolute animal. Your parents must be so proud of you that you act like that. Really, really proud.
Now watch closely, because this is where leadership makes a difference. A supervising officer arrives and approaches the situation calmly. No aggression, no demands, no unnecessary intimidation. He simply evaluates the scene and realizes something important: no crime is being committed. The man filming is standing on a public path and documenting activity. That's it. Instead of turning the moment into conflict, the sergeant demonstrates what professional policing looks like. He speaks respectfully, verifies what's happening, and allows the filming to continue. In just a few seconds, he diffuses the situation entirely. This contrast is important because it highlights something often overlooked in discussions about policing. One calm, rational supervisor can prevent escalation instantly. But unfortunately, the story doesn't end there. Because moments later, another officer steps into the situation, and the tone changes dramatically.
Like that, to be doing what they're doing, and being able to abuse people in that way. And this is what they do. This is what they do, okay? They completely, 110%, completely abuse. Now you've got this one here, just turned up, and yeah, really sort of, yeah, it must be that time where everybody just wants to abuse everybody, and this is what goes on. So you've got that officer down there, okay, that's the actual tick turd there, that actually grabbed the phone. So, and yeah, that's definitely one where it will definitely be going in, because there's no way should any officer at all ever be doing anything like that. It is their responsibility, okay? If they have an open keypad, right, it is their responsibility. What happens when you go to a cash point? Okay, you're always told, cover up your PIN, cover up your PIN. The exact same thing. It is their responsibility to cover that PIN number. It is not the public. If they decide that they want to enter it in while you have a member of the public there, then that is down to them. That is completely 110% down to them. And this is why it is an absolute disgrace by the way and what they've done and how they've done it. And we cannot...
Alright guys, here's the moment everything goes sideways. Another officer suddenly approaches while a keypad code is being entered at the station gate. Without warning, he accuses the cameraman of recording the security code. Instead of calmly addressing the concern, the officer immediately escalates. Within seconds, he grabs the man's phone and knocks it out of his hand. The impact damages the device and shocks everyone watching. This is where the encounter transforms from uncomfortable to outright aggressive. The civilian reacts angrily, and understandably so. Being physically grabbed or having property seized without lawful justification crosses a serious line. Legally speaking, officers generally cannot seize someone's phone without a clear legal basis or suspected crime. Yet in this moment, the officer acts first and thinks later. And just like that, a simple filming situation becomes a heated confrontation about abuse of authority.
He was someone that you could sort of have a little bit of banter, and there you can see that. Now when you look, okay, that one there came in, okay, not a single issue, not a single issue, okay, but then you look at the other one down the end, and you look at his actual thug that he actually had with him. Yeah, absolute embarrassment. So, and the complaints will be going in about them, because how you can actually allow your colleague to actually do that and actually break the law in the way that they did, right? He also has an obligation, and he failed as an officer in his duty. He failed as an officer in his duty. This is why it's so crazy. We can't allow thugs to do what they're doing and how they're doing it. Who does he think he is that he can actually come, grab the phone, and then try and snatch it out the hand? And it's just so wrong. So
listen carefully, because this is where the legal argument becomes crystal clear. The officer claims he was worried about the gate keypad code being filmed. But think about this logically for a second. When someone enters a PIN at an ATM, who is responsible for protecting that number? The person typing it in. The same principle applies here. If an officer is concerned about sensitive information being visible, the responsibility is to shield the keypad, not assault a bystander. The cameraman makes that exact point, arguing that the officer made a baseless assumption and reacted with force instead of common sense. From a procedural standpoint, there were countless ways to handle the situation professionally: block the camera's view, close the gate, or simply ask politely. Instead, the officer chose the most aggressive option available. And once force enters the picture, trust between the public and police begins to collapse instantly.
Hello?
hello?
Alright.
I'm good, thank you.
How are you doing?
Pardon?
How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you, sir.
You know what's going on with the video?
Pardon? I can't hear you. Yep. Well, first of all, could you identify yourself for me, please, sir?
Please.
Okay, and what's your shoulder number, please? Okay, no worries. So what's your shoulder number? 2501. No worries. Thank you very much, sir.
Everything good?
Everything's all good, mate. Everything's all good. Okay, apart from one of your officers just assaulting me. Yes, and about 5 minutes ago, and it's all on the camera. Okay, so, and basically, I was waiting for somebody to actually get me the duty inspector.
Now look at the broader picture unfolding here. Other officers arrive, and the reactions are wildly different. Some behave professionally, exchanging calm words with the cameraman and showing basic respect. Others remain silent, standing nearby while the confrontation unfolds. That silence is important. Because in law enforcement, witnessing misconduct carries a responsibility to intervene. When officers see a colleague cross the line and do nothing, the problem becomes bigger than one individual. It becomes a culture issue. The cameraman points this out repeatedly, arguing that the officer who grabbed the phone not only violated his rights but also embarrassed the entire uniform. In his view, accountability must follow, and he makes it clear a formal complaint will be filed. The frustration is obvious, but so is the larger message: unchecked authority erodes public trust faster than almost anything else.